What is up, people out there in YouTube land? Welcome back for another one. I'm making another graduation story today, and since they keep getting views, I just decided to post another. Today's stove will have a black base with pink trim, and what you see me doing now is kind of measuring out the base fabric. I already had some pre-cut black satin fabric from another project. I guess from another stove, because sometimes I go ahead and cut out two pieces, for this very reason, because I know I'm going to use it soon. So I'm just measuring it up. So the width of the fabric is about 5 inches, and the length is anywhere between 70 to 72 inches, because I start with 2 yards of fabric. So what I did was measure it up, make sure that it was the length or was actually what I needed. And what I'm going to do here is adhere the interfacing. So this is the Pellon fusible interfacing. It's the medium interfacing, and we always have to add interfacing to the back of especially satin fabric because it's so thin and it needs something to give it some body, so that when we're embroidering, the needles don't pucker all the way through the fabric and create holes. So what I'm doing here is just adhering it. I'm using my mini Cricut, and you see that I got the mat from my heat press. I use one side of the mat specifically for my graduation stove projects, and then I flip it over when I get ready to do my t-shirt or other projects and put it back on the regular heat press. So I am adhering it now. I think I just had to step away just for a second. I'm multitasking, y'all. I probably got something on my 6 needle I had to check on. So I'm back at it. So I started, you'll see I started adhering it with the fusible side up. And then I flipped it over because it is so much easier to smooth it out and adhere it on the satin side. So I at least have to get it started on the other side. And it's fusible, right? So on the interfacing, there's glue. There's a light layer of glue that helps adhere the interfacing to the satin fabric. So I'm using my mini Cricut to do that, to smooth it on out. And y'all, this mini Cricut is everything. I can use it to do my graduation stoves, to adhere this interfacing. I could use it for t-shirts, to place my design, because it's so much easier to place your design on a shirt, and if it's wrong, to get it up with the vinyl remover if you use your mini Cricut versus a the big heat press that adheres it, because of the temps are so much higher on it. So I always start with my mini Cricut on a lot of my projects, especially if they're really tedious. Something like, this stole. So what you'll see me doing now is just going back and forth. Got to get it smooth, guys. Got to have that smooth surface to start our embroidery on. And I think I cut my interfacing too short, or I started it in the middle instead of starting it at the end. So what you'll see me actually do now is go to my scrap interfacing pile and just get some interfacing scraps, because I don't throw away my remnants. I keep them just for situations like this. So I need some more at the end. So what you see me doing here is just cutting little strips of interfacing and making sure that I adhere them to the ends so that the entire stole has support. All right, so after I adhere these pieces to the ends, I need to make sure that I have the trim fabric ready to go after embroidering. So what I'm going to do after I finish adding the interfacing or fusing the interfacing to the back, I'm going to measure out my trim fabric. So if my base fabric was 5 inches wide and 30 to 33 inches if not more in length, then my trim fabric has to match it as well. And so and then after that, of course, we are going to serge, because see, if you look at the base, you see all those frays. We do not want those frays to be on there when we get ready to embroider, because it could interfere with the design and the thread, get stuck in the thread. So what you see me doing, it looks like I had a pre-cut pink piece, but it wasn't long enough. So I am actually measuring out now about 6.5, 7 inches. I think this was 7. Specifically, this was 7 because my base piece was 5. So I am cutting 7 inches wide, and it should all be the same length, because I should always start with 2 yards worth of fabric. So what I'm doing here is good old serging, serging each side, getting off those fray elements so that they're not on there when we get ready to embroider. Somebody asked, I think in one of my videos, what do you do if you don't have a serger? And I have no idea. I bought the serger just specifically for these projects, because I had no idea how to get those edges smooth before I get started on the embroidery piece part of the stole. So I just kind of Googled to see what machines do what, and I learned how to use it, and here we are. So I am just gonna do both sides to make sure that I have a smooth surface to start with for the embroidering. And this is a Brother serger, a 1040D something. If I need to make more videos about this machine, just let me know. I can get more specific. All right, so we're done with that. And you see how neat that is? It gives us a neat and a clean surface and a smooth surface to get started with. The serging also helps with adhering the size of the fusible interfacing as well, to make sure that it's a part of the stole. I know we ironed it on there, but you know, it gives us that second layer of protection there. So I'm going to use my PE 800 for this project, and you will see that I'll be using a 5x12 hoop. The PE 800 comes with a 4x4 and a 5x7 hoop, but I went to Amazon and ordered a additional package of hoops that included a 5x12, which allows me to split designs and do and because it's a multi-positional hoop. So I use my Embrilliant software to manipulate my designs so that I can use the PE 800 for these stoles. So I just got the stabilizer. I cut the length, and then I folded it in half just to give it a little more support, give the stole a little more support. And then I folded the stole in half, if I haven't done so already, just to make sure that I can identify the middle of it and make sure that it's in the hoop. Here it is. Yeah. So I'm folding it here. And then I'm going to, I don't know what I just tried to do a few minutes ago. I guess I just try to eyeball it, but I'm lining it up correctly so that I can make sure that when I start the embroidery process, I am starting with the middle of the stole. And so I'll do this whole entire stole is maybe 5 designs broken up. And each design has a top and a bottom based on the multi-positional hoop and the Embrilliant software. So I'll do the top and bottom of this part, and then I'll take it off, rehoop it, and go from there to complete the whole entire stole. So after I get my bobbin, I wind my bobbin and get me some bobbin thread going, and after I thread the machine, I'm going to start embroidering it. And yeah, that's kind of the process. Cut the fabric, place the interfacing, serging it, embroidering it. And guys, I broke my automatic threader on this machine. So if you have any idea where I can get replacement parts for a PE 800, please put it down there in the comments. I miss that thing. I get tired of threading with my eyes by myself. All right, and so I got it all. Looks like I got it all going. And so all I'm going to do here is start the embroidery process, starting at the bottom of the stole. And guys, this is the final project. This is what it looks like. I hope my client loves it as much as I love doing it. I thank you all for watching. Thank you for your continual support and watching me do these graduation stoves. Hey, I have a 9-to-5, so this is therapeutic for me. So I appreciate all of you all and hope to see you in the next one. Peace.